Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Marvel What If Spider-Man video. There were a lot of people going crazy about Spider-Man stuff happening during the Marvel What If trailer, so we'll break it down. There are a bunch of Easter eggs in here, because if you read the Marvel What If comic book series, the sky is the limit. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We'll do an Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know what Marvel What If episodes you want them to do for the series. We got a bunch more details about what's going on with the episodes a while ago, so I'll also explain that during the video too. But this is mostly meant to be about What If Spider-Man episodes. So starting with number 5, this past week a bunch of websites were claiming that they saw an alternate version of Spider-Man appearing in the Marvel What If trailer for the Disney Plus series. What If is actually going to be Marvel's first animated Avengers spin-off that's part of their big Marvel Phase 4 schedule they announced. If you've never heard of any of the Marvel What If comics, the basic premise is they alter key details in the history of their most major comic book events or characters' lives. One of the very first What If comic book stories I ever read was What If Spider-Man never stopped being Cosmic Spider-Man. Another more recent example would be What If Ultron defeated the Avengers during Avengers Age of Ultron, or What If the Hulk became the Herald of Galactus. You get the idea. The reason Marvel is doing it as an animated series instead of live action is just so it can get way crazier with the plot and the number of characters in each episode without having to worry about the budget or the availability of the major A-list Avengers actors. Because all the Avengers actors are coming back to do voices for their characters for the series, because that's kind of the theme of the Marvel Disney Plus series. Like, you have all the WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff that's happening, and it's the actors from the movies playing their characters. It'll be the same deal for the What If episodes, but it's going to be animated, so they'll be doing voiceover roles. It won't be them on screen. The budgetary reason for doing What If animated instead of live action is just because when you look at the other Marvel Disney Plus series like Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, they're spending about $25 million per episode. That is crazy. A normal episode of television like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is closer to like $3 or $4 million. And even though WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Loki series, all the other Disney Plus live-action series are going to be super huge and epic, if they tried to do What If as a live-action series, they'd have to spend double that per episode, and it would be a nightmare to try and get all those actors back on screen at the same time together. Could you even imagine them trying to reshoot Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Age of Ultron for their What If episodes live-action? That would be a nightmare. So number 4, the big Spider-Man moment that everyone saw this past week or thought that they saw in the What If trailer is this Hawkeye scene. It's not clear what episode this is for because there's images of alternate versions of characters all over the place in the trailer. But a lot of people saw this and they felt like it was what if Spider-Man didn't become Spider-Man, instead he became Ronin Hawkeye. Kevin Feige did say that there would be one What If episode for every single Marvel movie, and that includes the Spider-Man movies like Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and the upcoming Spider-Man 3 movie. Funny side detail too, technically they don't need Sony's permission to make those Spider-Man episodes because of a cool loophole that I'll explain in the Spider-Man rights. But even though this character isn't the perfect likeness of any of the Avengers actors in real life, it still kind of looks a little more like Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye than Tom Holland's Peter Parker. It's a little harder to zoom and enhance on this just because the resolution isn't super great, but Marvel's trying to take big epic swings with these What If episodes. That's the whole point in making them animated. And What If Spider-Man became Hawkeye just does not sound like a banger of an episode. Like, you could do literally anything you wanted to with this animated Spider-Man What If episode, and you decided to turn him into Hawkeye. That just doesn't sound super exciting. So 3, even though they've released a bunch of other details recently about the What If episodes, they haven't officially announced what the theme of the Spider-Man What If episodes are going to be. They've only announced a couple of the episodes so far, and season 1 of this series is only going to have 10 episodes, and we have 23 Marvel movies so far, including Spider-Man Far From Home. The other important thing too is they're not going to be doing the episodes in the order of the Marvel movies were originally released. Like Iron Man 1 was the first MCU movie, but the first What If episode is going to be for Captain America the First Avenger. And they're doing a Black Panther episode during season 1, even though his movie didn't take place till the tail end of the Infinity Saga. The reason why they're doing it that way is mostly to mix things up and for production reasons, because a lot of the actors aren't available when they need them. And then you have people like Robert Downey Jr. who will come back for the Iron Man What If episodes, but he's not going to come back immediately right after they gave him his big send-off in Avengers Endgame. Like, they want that to set for a while, people just to live with the idea that Iron Man in the MCU died. So don't be surprised if we don't see any Iron Man What If episodes until season 2 of that series. Number 2, the Spider-Man episodes are also a little bit different because of the Sony Marvel sharing deal with Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man. It gets a little more complicated for his character. Technically, Marvel can make as many Spider-Man What If episodes it wants without Sony's permission, which is great, but that's because it's an animated series, and Marvel has the TV rights to half-hour animation for Spider-Man. Sony only has the rights to the live-action and animated movies and rights to hour-long live-action television. That's why Sony made Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but they also announced that they're making a bunch of live-action Spider-Man hour-long TV series. We don't know what all those are going to be, but I've done a couple videos about that. So the big problem with the Marvel What If Spider-Man episodes are that Tom Holland's playing the character. It doesn't matter that it's animation. So Marvel's Spider-Man What If episodes will mostly just change things about Spider-Man's history in the MCU without involving a ton of other non-Spider-Man characters. Like, they're not going to do What If Spider-Man Met the Fantastic Four right out of the gate, or What If Spider-Man Joined the X-Men, even though that would be a pretty cool episode.
Can I transport to this planet the Fantastic Four?
Affirmative.
And there's another who was a big help to me against Carnage and Venom. My friend, Iron Man.
Affirmative.
Even though Marvel and Sony are actually getting along really well and they're going to continue to re-sign that Spider-Man sharing deal so Spider-Man stays in the MCU for a long time, you can kind of tell that Disney doesn't want Marvel using too many of their other assets that don't relate to Spider-Man inside the Spider-Man movies. Like, they don't want to give Sony too much access to the rest of the MCU. So number 1, a really good example of the What If Spider-Man Homecoming episode would be something more like what if Spider-Man never met Iron Man? What if Uncle Ben had lived and Aunt May had been the one to die? And what if Spider-Man had become full-on Iron Man wearing a regular Iron Man suit instead of the Iron Spider suit? They're actually kind of doing a version of that with a Captain America First Avenger What If episode. Like, what if Steve Rogers, instead of becoming Captain America, getting the super soldier serum, had gotten an Iron Man suit built by Howard Stark that looked kind of like a World War II tank? The episodes where you see a lot of the actors crossing over will mostly be the Avengers What If episodes for the Avengers movies. Like, what if the Avengers had not split up before Avengers Infinity War? What if Spider-Man had wielded the Infinity Gauntlet during Avengers Endgame? Some of the episodes will be way crazier than others, like the Black Panther episode that they announced literally is what if Black Panther had become Star-Lord. And the footage in the trailer is basically the events of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, except it's T'Challa trying to steal the Power Stone in a very Wakandan-inspired purple Ravagers uniform. So I assume in that scenario, his father is also secretly Ego the Living Planet, who did it with his mother from Wakanda in the Black Panther movie. I also believe Michael B. Jordan is coming back to play Killmonger for one of the episodes too, but I don't know if it's for that same Black Panther episode or if it's for another episode, because like the Black Panther example, some of the episodes will be a bit of a mashup between the plots of a couple different MCU movies. Like, Jeff Goldblum implied that he was going to be working with Robert Downey Jr. on a What If episode that sounded like an alternate version of Thor Ragnarok, with Iron Man getting stuck on Sakaar at some point. Then you have the really crazy episodes like the What If Marvel Zombies episode, which I'm assuming is going to be one of the Avengers movies episodes, but this is basically the entire trailer that they released.
Time. Space. Reality. It's more than a linear path. It's a prism of endless possibility. Some heroes will rise. Others will fall.
The Watcher, played in this series by the amazing Jeffrey Wright.
Is a being, a non-earthly being who observes all things. We'll see where we take it. We could take it anywhere.
They haven't said much about what's going on with the actual schedule of episodes. It was originally supposed to come out next summer, but because of the virus, it might be delayed by a couple weeks. So everyone, just let me know in the comments, what are you most hyped up about for the Marvel What If series, and what do you want them to do with their Spider-Man episodes, if they can do pretty much anything that they want? Everyone, click here to learn about a whole bunch of Marvel MCU Wolverine deleted scenes, and click here for that Justice League Snyder Cut teaser trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.